Fireflies or anything like that?
No Alex Jones certified products. No.
Great.
All right, we're live. We're just talking about my just lampooning my headphones.
Yes. He is a professional podcaster now.
It means I'm official when I have these headphones. It means you better listen and do as I tell you.
Yep. But
right.
We are at it, and this is a new episode of Moviemood.
Right. Yeah, so we are talking vampires today. In case you caught the last one, it was a little bit shaky. We had some technical difficulties, so we're just going to go back over a lot of the stuff that we were talking about and kind of recap on it. Maybe we have some new opinions about vampires, maybe not. Are they real? Are they not? I don't know.
What does your gut tell you? What does your heart tell you?
I feel like there definitely could be some kind of vampire. There's certainly vampire bats out there lurking. But I don't think they're as deadly as most people think. I think they're actually very adorable, despite the blood sucking thing.
Yeah, they do a lot of good, right? They're kind of an important part of our ecosystem.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm sure they're getting rid of, vermin and rodents.
Yep. But today
I feel weird when I say vermin.
We're going to be talking about the haunting kind of vampires, the ones that haunt our dreams, vampires of film.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and vampires are along with cowboys and love affairs and adventurers. They're some of the great subjects of the cinema.
Yeah, it's one of those genres that has its own Wikipedia page and running list of thousands of different movies out there, from the classic Dracula movies to plays on the genre, everything like that.
Yeah, for sure. And all from silent film era to now, there's been so many iterations on the vampire, so many different themes. Why do we come to the vampire? Why is a vampire a worthy subject?
Yeah, I think the vampire is a worthy subject because you can go a lot of different places with a vampire story. There are so many different themes that we can touch on, like from body horror and body mutilation all the way to rock and roll and everything in between. The plague, things that are pertinent to the world. So
definitely.
Yeah,
they have kind of a outsider status that allows them to go kind of be a vehicle for whatever the times are calling for, or whatever theme the film is going for. And in general, kind of a outsider kind of status. But what are some of your favorite vampire movies that come to mind?
So there are a few out there. To be perfectly candid, I love that original Dracula story. Jonathan Harker, whoever comes into Jonathan Harker's place, goes to Transylvania to visit Dracula, and then Dracula wreaks havoc on England afterwards.
The novel.
Yeah, the novel, and there are so many great adaptations of that throughout history, all the way from the silent era to now.
Definitely.
And two that really stand out for me are the original Nosferatu from, I think it was like 1919, 1921, something like that.
Yeah.
Film. And then 1992's Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yeah. Have you seen that one?
I actually haven't seen the Francis Ford Coppola one. Been wanting to. But yeah, I haven't come around to it. I hear it's good though.
Yeah, it's absolutely worth the watch. It's actually a fairly faithful adaptation of the novel. Like, they really take in a lot of elements, but Francis Ford Coppola does his also adds a lot to the story, and it is very, very 90s, but very, very kind of gothic at the same time. Definitely worth the watch.
That's awesome. Yeah, see, it's got Gary Oldman in his, in the 90s, he was like kind of batshit, excuse the pun, he was kind of batshit crazy. So I'm sure that's like a pretty wild performance. Yeah, it's got a huge. This is quite a '90s cast. Tom Waits
Yeah.
is in it. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Tom Waits, Keanu Reeves,
Wow.
and Anthony Hopkins coming right off of Silence of the Lambs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta check this out.
Yeah, you really should check it out.
Okay.
I couldn't find it on a streaming service, but I actually checked it out at my local library. So
Oh, okay, word. Nice.
shout out to the local libraries.
Baltimore Public.
Yep. Enoch Pratt Free. That's what it's
Nice.
called. Yeah.
That's awesome. I also too love the Dracula movies. I think probably my favorite iteration. It's going to be very, I guess it's probably the Werner Herzog one. I really like that one and have come back to it a lot.
Yeah.
And aside from being like a Dracula movie, I think it's just also a really good, like easy to watch Herzog movie. You've got the, Jonathan Harker or whoever it is in the movie going to the mountains, and it's this, Bavarian mountain thing. And then you got Klaus Kinski being a creepazoid. And it's just a very emotive movie, and is about probably I don't know if the book is about the plague, but it's very much like plague focused, and there are a lot of rats.
No, the plague doesn't really play a huge role in the book. It's something that in the two Nosferatu movies itself, which are really based on the book, they kind of add to it, both in the original one and the Herzog.
Yeah, I feel like the original Nosferatu is almost like, because everyone was like making these movies that were like about movies, even the silent film era. I feel like Nosferatu is kind of like a movie. He's kind of like like his like powers, or like whatever is the theme around him, is that he's kind of like a movie. It's very like meta. Certain parts of it. He's like a movie villain. Like the movies are the vampire kind of thing.
Yeah, can you expand on that a little bit?
So yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but there's a film class I took where we watched Nosferatu, and basically explaining that a lot of the cuts of him like teleporting into a room, or like coming into a room, like it's always like it's happening like within the frame, so it's supposed to be like this, he's this kind of spirit of the movies, almost like the power of the movies, like that's right. his power, that he can manipulate that, which doesn't really come across like overtly, I guess, but it's like kind of a part of the first one, at least.
Yeah, it's like, I guess, like, since movies are such this new thing, you want to see everything on screen, which so they put him in the frame a lot and show his powers in the frame a lot, which in modern horror movies, or even like going back to Jaws, they oftentimes try to hide things now. So
definitely, yeah. It's like where like certain vampires, like I guess for example like Twilight, it's kind of like it's kind of like Mormonism a little bit put into vampire stuff. Nosferatu is kind of like this meta vampire. I think I'd have to rewatch it, but that's what I remember from a film class I took.
We'll have to rewatch Twilight too.
Exactly. That's true. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Twilight?
I love Twilight. I love all of them. The original, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Part 2. Saw them all in theaters. Killer soundtrack.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Did you read any of the books?
No. I did not. But I think what really brought me to the movies actually was Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. They were
right.
Yeah, they're great actors, both of them. They really are.
Yeah,
and it's funny because,
it's true.
In 2008, you probably wouldn't have thought that. Between like 2008 and 2012, you're probably like, who are these people? And
yeah, it's true. Yeah, you were originally on the Robert Pattinson bandwagon. I don't think I got on until I saw it was like that one Jungle movie that he's in. Oh, Good Time too. Yeah, well, Good Time just kind of like sealed the The Deal. I was just like, oh my god, he's amazing.
Yeah.
There was like some jungle movie, I can't remember what it was, but he was like a like supporting character, and he had like a huge beard, and I was like, whoa, like he's really good in that movie. Like that
Was
movie's
it
okay.
was it the Charlie Hunnam movie, Lost City of
Yeah,
Z?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I saw
Yeah, that was the one where I was like, oh shit, like he's really good.
it.
Cosmopolis also was pretty cool, and all the Cronenberg stuff he did, you felt like he was making good choices for like what movies he was gonna be in. Um, but yeah, and Kirsten Stewart with Spencer.
Hmm.
But with Twilight is funny. I mean, it's I've definitely enjoyed watching the first one in New Moon. And the soundtrack has some great music as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
Kind of balances out some of the um, not so great parts of the movie.
Are you saying there are not so great parts about Twilight?
I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
rewatch it now
Rewatch it.
because
Yeah.
because I watched it when I was like what 16, 15.
I would
What did I know?
I will go ahead and give my hot take and say that it is the single greatest film series of all time.
Oh damn,
Yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it came out when like that's that's a crazy hot take.
That is a flaming hot take.
Yeah. No, it's fun though, like to be honest, and like there's so many it's just like a fun part of like pop culture that thing exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have like what it's not exactly a vampire movie, but it came off of fiction of the 50 Shades of Grey,
Yeah.
which I've
Yeah.
never seen or watched at all. But
I have not read those, or I saw the first movie. I saw the first 50 Shades movie,
can you
but
see some Edward Cullen in that character?
oh, he was very brooding.
Yeah.
Yeah, very brooding character. But yeah, it's not quite up to quite up to Twilight's caliber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not. No. Doesn't have that yeah, it doesn't have that special thing. Um yeah, Twilight is cool. What are some other vampire movies? One of my personal favorites is I think Only Lovers Left Alive. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, it's definitely worth watching. It definitely has that rock and roll aspect of it, where it's these two vampires that are like supposed to be like ancient people, like they're ancient musicians, but like they're basically just like cool like rock and roll hipsters that are like underground and
Yeah, I'm looking at the cast right now, and I can totally see these people as
dude,
vampires.
it's great. It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
It's very fun, and it honestly one of my favorite Jim Jarmusch movies. I think if you've seen any of his films,
Nice.
yeah,
Very nice.
it's very very funny, and it takes place in Detroit.
Great.
Mhm.
Great town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some other vampire bangers?
So so in the 2000s, it looks like they were having some fun with vampire movies.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Van Helsing?
No, I haven't seen Van
The Hugh Jackman movie.
No, or like Underworld or like any of that stuff from the 2000s. I have not.
Yeah. Side note: Do you remember how like around the year 2000, they would add like the numbers 2000 after the name of like every movie, like
Oh
like
yeah.
Pokemon 2000 and Godzilla 2000.
Yep. Mhm.
They did have a Dracula 2000, and
But what?
that that's on my watch list right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are quite a few on my watch list as well. Um, yeah, there's the Interview with a Vampire, which I haven't seen, but I know that you love.
Yes, that is absolutely worth the watch. That's kind of more of that sexy rock and roll kind of
Yeah,
vampire movie, and you've got Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt in there.
yeah, huge cast.
Yeah, Antonio Banderas, I think, as
Mm-hmm.
well. Yeah,
Yeah, Kirsten Dunst.
yep. And I have not actually read that book yet. It's on my reading list.
Yeah.
But I think that you know it's a movie it was a book that was adapted quite well onto film, is what I'll say.
Right.
It 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 works with the aesthetic. I think that the the 90s were kind of a really cool time for
Yeah.
the early 90s for vampire movies, with Interview with the Vampire and Bram Stoker's Dracula, because you've got those really kind of nostalgic casts at this point, and
Yeah.
it's just people going all out in a way that you don't really see as much in movies today.
No, like you don't have the big spectacle. It feels like we don't have like the big spectacle movies anymore. They kind of moved to TV, which is a shame.
Right.
Like stuff like any kind of like giant historical drama, from Interview to a Vampire to Titanic or anything like that, that's like, supposed to be like historic, like realistic historically and stuff like that. That's kind of a 90s thing.
Yeah, you have to think you look at, I mean, I hate to go back to the Oscars, but you look at movies that won Best Picture in the 90s, you had Titanic, you had The English Patient, and then you look at movies that won Best Picture today, and they're much more subdued. You've got Nomadland, stuff like that.
Yeah, much more like almost like little indie movies compared to that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the 90s was a cool time in general. I know that one of my favorite vampire movies, Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, is very inspired by the Anne Rice books. And if you hadn't had a chance to check it out, it's super good. I had a chance to see it in New Orleans with my sister at a cool theater, which is like, New Orleans is like a good town for vampires, I think. It's just like, it's in the South. There's voodoo.
Yeah, it's got that history. It's got, absolutely.
It's got witchcraft history, so,
Yeah, that could totally be, America's Vampire Central.
Yeah. Yeah, where do you think the vampires are at these days?
Oh, I think definitely Baltimore.
Oh, yeah. You seen any around there?
Oh, yeah, I totally believe in vampires.
I'm sure Colin does too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other Baltimore friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, Girl Walks Home Alone at Night is it's also very like, it's kind of a genre mashup. It's, spaghetti western, it's a vampire movie, it's a feminist movie that kind of takes place in Iran. And it's very like very hip, very cultural, and really taps into that outsider status of a vampire.
Nice. Yeah, I really think I would like that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, lots of like very like Tarantino-y also.
Yeah,
similarities.
Very cool poster.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen Blade?
No,
I've never seen Blade either.
How
about Let the Right One In?
Yeah, Let the Right One In is great. It was a Swedish book. I don't know if it was originally written in the 2000s, but it takes place in the 80s.
Right.
And the original movie is also a Swedish movie, and it came out around the time that like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and everything like that was really popular. But it's really haunting because it focuses primarily around like children and children vampires.
Right.
There are some subplots with the adults in this Swedish village, but yeah, and it deals with some pretty dark themes that kind of play into a lot of vampire movies, like body horror and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's very good. It's one of the ones where I would encourage reading the book before going into the movie. You don't necessarily need to do that with like Dracula because it's such a huge part of culture. But for Let the Right One In, it's worthwhile to read the book to get some context.
Yeah, I haven't read the book, but I did see the movie and a while ago, and I remember it being very 70s, very like a lot of long lenses and like very snowy. Yeah, and I was like Sweden and just that area kind of seemed to come out with a lot of good thrillers in general. It's cold.
Yeah, the cold, the isolation of it all.
Gothic.
Far north.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dark all the time.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's kind of like, I feel like there are different levels of the vampire movie where you can like have like a funny vampire movie where you're like, and then you can kind of have like kind of in the middle where it's like funny, but it's also dealing with serious stuff. And this is definitely like a very serious vampire movie.
Yeah, very, very serious. Yeah.
Deadly serious.
Deadly serious, yes.
You may even say. Where are you, John, by the way?
I am in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm in a basement.
Whose basement are you in?
I'm in my parents' basement.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Say hi to him for me.
I will. I'll send my best.
Now, what do you prefer out of a vampire movie? Do you prefer like you're like more serious or more like funny or more like kind of in between?
So I like a serious base story, but I think there needs to be kind of a fun element to it.
For sure.
Yeah. Because in the end, like when you take something like a vampire, it is horrific, and it's also fictitious. It's so I like kind of that extravagance and lavishness that's added to it.
Definitely.
Yeah. What about you?
I guess it depends on my mood, but I generally like to have fun in general.
Did you have fun with I Am Legend?
Oh yeah. Oh, I totally forgot about that one. Yeah. Yes. I did. And with I think I had more fun with what's it called? With Charlton Heston, Omega Man.
Omega Man, yep.
Yeah, it's kind of a bad movie, but it's kind of fun. It's very super 70s. I think I really like I watched Omega Man and I Am Legend a while ago. But I think out of all of those, I like the book the best of I Am Legend. The book is really, really good. And none of the I don't think any of the movies have really done the book the way it is. And Omega Man, it's kind of like this crazy 70s, like just has a little bit of everything from the 70s. It's Charlton Heston, like he watches Woodstock, the movie Woodstock, and he's like, he loves it. Like that's his favorite movie. And you're like, he's like, they don't make him like that anymore. And
speaking of Woodstock, side note, I watched this documentary called Trainwreck Woodstock 90.
Oh right, yeah.
That was a mess.
Woodstock 99.
Yeah,
I heard it. Yeah, it's bad. They wanted to do another Woodstock. Well, the people who were putting on Woodstock wanted to do like another one, and like pretty much all the musicians they invited were like, no.
Yeah, I was telling Andrea, my wife, that the people at Woodstock 99, like the crowd at Woodstock 99, they all grew up to become the people that like stormed the Capitol, Yeah.
Damn, that makes sense. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, there was like some nightmare. There's some like nightmare scenarios at Woodstock '99. Probably the original Woodstock too was probably terrible.
Yeah, but we
But
romanticize that, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. But Woodstock '99 was a like Nine Inch Nails. I like Nine Inch Nails, but
Limp
like,
Bizkit,
oh my god,
Rage Against the Machine, Corn.
that's great. Oh my god, that's crazy. It's just like one of those guys, like one of those bands, like just by themselves is like a lot, and then just having them all together in Woodstock, ugh, it's bad. I gotta watch that. I'm sure there are vampires there.
It's a fun watch.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
You were talking about how the Omega Man
Oh yeah,
watch like Woodstock.
yeah. The ending of I Am Legend, the book, is so good that yeah. I like the I Am Legend with Will Smith, but I think my ranking would be I Am Legend book, Omega Man, and then yeah, the I Am Legend with Will Smith.
Okay,
Um,
fair enough.
but it's good. It's very good. But just doesn't have that ending that the book has. The book is like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. What are your thoughts on I Am Legend?
I have not read the book. It is I understand it is very much worth the read.
Yeah.
And it's on my list. And I have not seen the original Omega Man, so I have only seen the 2007 Will Smith masterpiece. And
I feel like from the Will Smith, am I wrong? But is the Will Smith I Am Legend, are the vampires kind of zombies? Like, are they kind of like zombies a little bit?
they're a lot like zombies.
Yeah, yeah. Because like in the Omega Man, I feel like they're just like straight up zombies. I mean, not zombies, vampires. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it's weird because I Am Legend, it's almost basically like it's weird that it's like you feel like it should be a zombie movie, like just because of the like apocalyptic vibe and all that.
Right.
Mm.
Absolutely.
It comes into
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the zombies kind of work with it.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zombies or vampires?
Oh, vampires.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because vampires can be among us.
That's true.
A zombie really stands out. So it's not as haunting. It's just kind of like, oh, hey, there's a zombie over there. And then they approach you very slowly, and all you have to do is run away. But a vampire comes at night.
Sneaks into your house.
It's someone that you could welcome into your house, not knowing they're a vampire. And yeah,
that's true. Zombies aren't as smart.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Vampires are cunning.
Yeah.
They use their wits. Another banger you should check out is another indie flick is Near Dark with Bill Paxton.
Yes, I very much want to check that out.
Yeah.
It's an early Catherine Bigelow movie, right?
Yeah, and she was definitely like very into like I feel like Catherine Bigelow, she's very good at making movies about like douchey dudes who are like who are rock and roll and they're outsiders, man, like just all the Point Break and Hurt Locker and all that. And Near Dark is definitely like that. It's a Western, it's a Suey and the Banshee style rock and roll gothic mix thing from the 80s.
Right.
And has a lot of Bill Paxton just acting like a crazy man. So,
yeah,
sign me up for that.
Yeah, Bill Paxton is a very underrated actor. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He was he was a treasure in the 80s and the 90s.
Definitely. Yeah. Best thing about the movie Aliens. One of the best things.
Yeah, I'm more of an Alien guy, the original Alien, but
yeah,
it's kind of like the zombies versus vampires conversation. But Bill Paxton does stand out in Aliens.
Yeah.
Also, you know, he's the framing device in Titanic, and
Yeah.
it just works.
Yeah, and he's like in Apollo 13, and we could go on. We could have a whole Bill
Yeah,
Paxton episode.
we'll have a Bill Paxton riff sometime, but
Yeah. There's speaking of podcasts, there's the Mark Maron that he did. He did like 6 weeks before he died. It's actually kind of spooky to listen to. It's actually really spooky.
have to check that out.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, it's weird to listen to because it happened like right before. Yeah.
I know. I remember I heard the news that he had passed away, and I was just shocked.
Yeah.
A,
he's young.
Yeah, he
Young
wasn't
guy.
not old. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean his career wasn't as good as it used to be. He was like a Nightcrawler and stuff, but yeah, his he had way more work in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What are some other vampire movies?
Well, there are the Hammer ones. The Hammer.
Right. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about those.
Yeah, so Hammer horror really came into prominence in, I want to say, like the 50s. And they made a lot of, you know, the classic monster movies. They made, you know, Dracula, Frankenstein, things like that. But I think the ones that really stand out to me are the Dracula movies with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing as Van Helsing, pre Tarkin Peter Cushing.
Right.
Yeah. And they really do go from, you know, the first movie, it's called Horror of Dracula in the United States, and the rest of the world is just called Dracula, which is just a remake of the novel.
Right.
All the way up to, you know, Dracula in the 70s and just getting very goofy. So it's kind of fun to see this series of movies just kind of evolve with the times.
Definitely. You know, I had kind of a phase starting COVID, going a few years in now, watching a lot of the Hammer movies, and yeah, they're wild. Like very similar to, I feel like, with British movies of that era, kind of including Powell and Pressburger, really great color and really great dialogue. Yeah, like
yeah, they really wanted to show the color in those movies too. Like they had bloody scenes and they wanted to show that bright red and contrast that to everything else in the movies. So it added something new to the aesthetic of the movies.
Definitely. Also very like willing to go to places that probably movies in the 50s and 60s in the United States, like these movies would not have been made in the United States at like the time. Like I'm talking, there's one I saw, Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde or something like that. It's very transgressive horror movie from that time, and it's like that would not have been made in the US during that time.
Yeah, like in the 50s in the US, I think you had movies like horror movies anyways, like
The Blob
and like Creature from the Black Lagoon and stuff like that.
I think that's way before Creature, right? I think.
No, I don't think so. I'll get confirmation, but yeah, for American made movies, it almost seems like there's a distinct dividing line between like 1965 and onward and pre-1969.
Oh yeah. Probably when you hit the 70s, you know, they could probably make something like that, but yeah, before Easy Rider, it's
for me, I say Bonnie and Clyde, but yeah,
or Bonnie and Clyde, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Creature from the Black Lagoon was from 1954.
Right, you're right. Yeah, for some reason I like categorize it in the 30s.
You kind of associate it with you know, those older ones, you know, the Frankenstein, Boris Karloff mummy, stuff like that.
Yeah, and compared to like the Hammer movies, like American horror movies are kind of gentle, kind of kind of chill before, before like,
Right.
Texas Chainsaw, the 70s,
Right.
basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're more about like afraid of the atomic bomb and like communists and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, going back to the 30s, like pre-Cold War stuff like that, there were so many restrictions on what could be actually put
Right.
on film that by today's standards they are quite tame.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we can do what we want.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So which one of the Hammer uh Dracula movies do you recommend? What's your favorite?
I think my guilty pleasure is the Satanic Rites of Dracula. It's the one
Nice.
that's in the 70s. It's these spies trying to track down Dracula, and he's got his business dealings going on
That's wild.
and stuff like that. But
That's cool.
if you're actually trying to watch a good horror film and get a taste of what the Hammer movies were like, I would recommend Horror of Dracula.
Yeah, that's kind of like the first one, right?
Yeah, which I think is available on HBO Max.
Nice.
Yeah.
There was a few Hammer movies I really loved. Have you seen Quartermass in the Pit?
Mm.
Dude, you gotta check out Quartermass in the Pit. And Plague of the Zombies. It's another good one as well. Just blows your mind that those movies are coming out at that time period. But
Right.
I'll definitely check out the Satanic Rites. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another good horror vampire movie is What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, Taika Waititi, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I feel like definitely one of his best, and one of his more like purely for comedy. Like it's just like a good movie.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Taika Waititi is so funny.
Yeah, he is.
Like when he is in his element, he does great.
Yeah. When he's on, he's doing stuff like
Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit, Thor Ragnarok.
Did you ever see? I haven't seen this, so I have no idea what it's about. But Hunt for the Wilder People.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's probably my favorite of his movies.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out.
I need to check that out because I'm a big Sam Neill fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great Sam Neill movie for sure.
Yeah. I've always just liked Sam Neill's presence in movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of the movie I guess he did before he went super Hollywood and with Thor Ragnarok and
right.
It's great. Like it just makes it's like I feel like his best film. It's I've watched it so many times just like to like chill or relax. Like it's just a good movie.
Yeah. Awesome.
And Sam Neill is awesome. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wasn't a huge fan on the new Thor, but in general I like most of his movies.
Yeah. And I know I wasn't big on the new Thor either. I think Christian Bale and Taika Waititi were trying to make two very different movies, and it very much collided. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was definitely more on the goofy side than on the serious side, and
right.
Christian Bale is very scary.
Yeah, very very spooky.
I mean, in general, he seems like a scary person. But
yeah, he's a very brooding person.
Oh yeah, great actor.
I would watch a Christian Bale vampire movie, but
yeah.
That would probably be great. But yeah, let's kind of use that as a segue. So we both didn't care for Thor Ragnarok. What are some things that you're watching right now?
So yeah, what have I been watching? As always, I'm always on watching the Criterion channel, watching stuff like that. I've been really high on just lately. I rewatched The Gift.
You love that movie. I saw your Letterboxd score.
Yeah, man. What do you think about it?
It's goofy as can be.
No, yeah, it's awesome.
It's very goofy.
It's good though. It's definitely a good movie, but it's like it's very like simple. It's just like a very simple scary movie. It's well done. Jason Bateman is a dick as
Am I
usual.
am I thinking of the right one? It's like it's by the guy who made Donnie Darko and
No, 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 no.
oh,
Sorry,
what am
no,
I thinking of?
no. That's The Box.
Okay, yeah,
So
I'm
I've
thinking of
never
the
seen
box.
that one.
I've seen the box and the gift, and I
Yeah.
actually really, really like the gift a lot.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think the box is really, really, really goofy.
I should watch The Box. Yeah, I get them mixed up all the time because they're
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
confusing.
similar. They're definitely similar movies. Like
And gifts
somebody,
come in boxes.
some stranger comes to your house.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I watched The Gift, the Joel Edgerton movie.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good watch.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I showed it to my girlfriend. She'd never seen it. And yeah, she liked it.
Yeah.
Some other ones. Well, we both watched Nope and had different experiences towards that.
Mhm.
But now I'm thinking, because I've been reading so many like mixed reviews about it, and I really loved it. I'm like, am I wrong?
No, you're
Like,
not wrong.
yeah,
No, you're
that
not
I
wrong at all.
the movie rules. I mean, to me, I really liked it.
So it didn't like blow me out of the water, right? But
Mm,
that doesn't mean I didn't like it. And
yeah.
the things that I really liked about it, I really liked about it. I got mad, 70s Spielberg vibes from it.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Jaws,
Yeah.
Close Encounters.
Even I think a lot of Jordan Peele is like very, very Spielbergy, especially Us. Also,
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. What did you think about Elvis? I never heard from you.
I did not actually see it. I was going to see it. I will let you know when
Okay.
I see, because yeah, it was at the Bird Theater in Richmond, and we just were pooped out a day,
I
so I
gotcha.
wanted to go see, but I'm gonna see it maybe this week. I'll check it out.
Good to know.
Um, I still got to watch. There's a one filmmaker I've been really kind of high on lately. He is a I'm gonna butcher his name because he's a Thai filmmaker,
Mm.
and he came out with a movie that I don't know if I told you about it, but it was at the Virginia Film Festival, and it's a movie with Tilda Swinton, and she's like in Colombia, and it's very like it's just a very like trippy like art film kind of deal. And Pete Chong Wirasako, I can't I'm gonna butcher his name, but that's his
Okay.
name.
All right.
The Thai filmmaker. I recently watched one of his movies, Tropical Malady. Which I found on Canopy. And
Isn't
I
Canopy
think,
cool?
yeah, actually, yeah, Canopy is great. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got some good stuff.
Mm.
Um, and I think I had seen a lot of his movies, but I kind of didn't. Wasn't really into them before I saw Memoria, but now I'm like, oh my god, I need to watch all this stuff. Memoria is it's coming out in a weird way, like it's going like from state to state in the United States, like
Oh, interesting. Okay.
yeah, it plays at one theater at a time and it's just going around the country. So it's very like exclusive, and I think it was playing in Baltimore maybe a week ago. Um, but yeah, it just made me really into this guy's movies. And Tropical Malady is a good one. Uncle Boonmee is another good one. Yeah, he's just one of the he's a very good filmmaker.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Yep. How about you? What you been watching?
The most recent movie I watched it yesterday was Casino,
Oh yeah.
Martin Scorsese movie, and I have an actual hot take on that one.
All right.
Um, I think Casino is Scorsese's best film of the '90s.
Hmm.
Yep. Like it's
Interesting.
not it's so my hot take on Twilight was not an actual hot take. This is
Yeah.
an actual hot take.
What other movies did he make in the 90s?
He made a big one. He made one that really stands out called Goodfellas.
Oh, you think you like? Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh, you like Casino more than
It's
Goodfellas.
more coherent. It's
Wow.
I I I enjoy the dual narration. I think
Yeah. Yeah, there's like multiple narrations in that one. That's
yeah,
true. Huh.
yeah.
Interesting.
You should
Wow. Huh.
you should rewatch it. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on it?
Oh, I love Casino. Yeah, Casino is great.
Yeah.
I think it like it's it's like I still love. I think Goodfellas is still. We'll have to rewatch it, I guess. But I don't think Casino could exist without Goodfellas. I think it's very like they're both very similar movies, and Casino is like almost like a sequel. And um, I think it's probably more violent. It's probably more like crazy, especially from Joe Pesci's character. He's definitely way more psycho.
Yeah, Joe Pesci's a madman.
Yeah, but Goodfellas, he's a psycho in that too. So
That's the thing. You know, I think I think three of Martin Scorsese's movies and three of his best that really stand out, Goodfellas, Casino, and The Wolf of Wall Street, all have really similar elements to them.
oh yeah,
Yeah. And and I don't know what it is about, him telling the story of these, rich, corrupt, maybe psychotic men, but
oh yeah,
it it I honestly think that if those three films kind of make an arc, they're actually gradually getting better over time. And I think out of those
interesting.
three, The Wolf of Wall Street is actually kind of the peak.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I
I mean, Wolf
truly
of
do.
Wall Street is really fantastic and is
Yeah.
really great. Oh, it's hard to say, but I guess you
Like,
could
don't
kind
get
of
me
see them as a
wrong.
trilogy.
Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. Goodfellas is great.
it's
It's
so
very,
good.
very good.
Hmm.
These
I
are
think,
these
yeah,
are
yeah.
three very, very terrific movies.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely in the top tier for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think Martin Scorsese is just good at character studies in general
Mhm.
more than anything else. And I think that's something interesting about like Shutter Island. I think is like I felt like it could have used it would have been maybe a little better if it was more like a thriller than like a psycho like a character study type thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it was more about like the suspense or stuff like that, or the reveals, like the twists, instead of
Right.
like being about kind of Teddy Daniels different like ticks or whatever, which is something he does great in all his movies, like Wolf of Wall Street and Goodfellas. Like they're all about these different characters and their life. But yeah, that's an interesting take. That they
Mhm.
get better and better. Wolf of Wall Street is definitely his best of the last decade for sure, hands down.
I,
I don't know about Casino. I'd have to rewatch it.
like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's worth the watch. It's
Yeah,
worth taking the time out. And
yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember like loving it. Like, yeah, it's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What else
Any
have I
shows
been?
you watching right now?
I just started watching Suits.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is kind of a chill show. But no, actually, I have been making my way through. I don't know why I'm still watching it, but I'm like kind of slogging through this show on Criterion Channel. I'm almost done, but I finished the book and like I don't know how I finished it because like half of it, it's this so it's this novel called Berlin Alexanderplatz, which is like this great. It's kind of like a German Ulysses almost, and I had
Mm.
started reading it like maybe years ago and just chipping away at it. And a few months ago, I like just finished it out of the blue, and it had like a really good ending. And so I was like, I'm gonna watch the show. And there's this German show of it directed by kind of um, one of the German new wave directors, kind of in the same generation as Herzog and Wim Wenders. And it's like a 15-hour show, and it's kind of a slog, but I've been watching like one episode like a week, just like, oh my god, like, and the character is so unlikable, you hate him so much, but it's interesting to watch.
Yeah, good for you for powering through that.
Yeah.
I don't know
but I like shit like that. Like, I like to watch interesting stuff that I'm into.
Yep, for sure.
So you've been watching Casino.
Let's see what else. I'm 2/3 of the way through We Own This City.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
The lead actor, whose name I'm forgetting.
Jon Bernthal.
Yeah, Jon Bernthal. He's terrific in it.
Yeah. He's really hitting a good time in his career, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's been kind of been described as like the successor to The Wire.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking, I watched The Wire a few years back, and it takes a while to get into The Wire. I would maybe encourage people who want to know about corruption in a city to watch We Own This City prior to watching The Wire.
Sure. Yeah. It's shorter, and it gets you into it faster. Yeah.
Based on something that actually did happen.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. No, I really liked it too. Actually, I just remembered. Have you watched The Bear?
I've seen one episode of The Bear.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great.
I want to continue watching that.
Very realistic portrayal of working in a restaurant. I, for one, hated working in a restaurant just because of all the yelling and toxicity. I was like, I can't do this. I can't be in a kitchen.
Sure.
I tried, but that is certainly like it's a very realistic depiction of working in a restaurant, and it's a great show in general.
Yeah. My wife, she watched a show called Shameless. Which is a very fun show, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
And she really likes the actor from Shameless, who is now on The Bear. So that's why we started watching that.
He looks like Billy Joe Armstrong.
He kind of does.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
So, any closing thoughts on vampires?
No, I think just to recap, vampires are really cool because they can transcend multiple genres. Vampires over zombies, and that's what I've got. Yeah,
vampires are like a great subject in general, and make some good vampire movies out there. Whether they're super commercial or low budget, or they're super silly, super serious. There's a wide gamut of them to watch for sure. We need a vampire movie from Scorsese one of these days.
Yes. Christian Bale.
He's holding out on us.
Yeah.
All right. I think that concludes this episode of Movie Mood. Like, subscribe, follow. We'll have more episodes coming. And I'm your host, Ox Van Horn.